Okay, so the cool thing about that little song is that my acoustic was plugged into the SY-1000. In fact, you can plug a lot of different instruments into the SY-1000. Hi, I'm Marcus Curtis, and welcome to guitar video number 6. Yes, 6 of these things already. Okay, so in this video, we're going to cover the SY-1000 in a little bit more detail and cover some of its hidden superpowers. In the last video, I chain linked a bunch of guitar synths together, and I did it on top of the table, and I kind of showed you how to plug everything in. In this video, I put everything on the ground, and I'm going to show you right now the result of plugging everything in together. Then after that, we'll cover the SY-1000. But first, let's go to the GM-800. So here we are at the Boss GM-800, and the patch that's loaded is called Big Dreamy Synth. This is the factory preset, but I've made some adjustments to it, so it's not really a true factory preset. And it sounds a little like this. Going up a preset, here is Rain Ensemble. Go up one more, and we are now on the sax. Here's our saxophone. Go up one more, we have a trumpet here. Okay, so this is more or less a flugelhorn. I switched some things around in there too. And we go up one more, and we have a harmonica here. Okay, so you get the sense of what these patches do. Now, if I take my expression pedal, take the volume knob down, you can hear my guitar strings, but you can't hear this. If I come over here, I'm going to go move over here. We're going to come over to the SY-1000. Now the SY-1000 is hooked into, or hooked up with, the GM-800. So all I have to do is raise the expression pedal here, and this patch is called In the Rain. Now I'm going to go over to this GM-800. I'm going to call up the patch I started off with, and I'm going to take the expression controller down, and I'm going to play both synths at the same time. Turn this down, you'll hear the other synth. Yeah, you can hear the other synth now. Okay, so I'm going to go over here again, take the expression pedal down for the GM-800. We'll put the expression pedal back up on this. Okay, now we're going to go over to here. Now, keep in mind, this is the same guitar. I've not switched anything around. And we have our GR55. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the SY-1000. And all I got to do is hit this little switch here. And then it's going to bring in the GR55. And now we've got strings here. Let's go ahead and bring the expression pedal up. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring the expression pedal down. I'm going to go over here to our next device. And here is the GT-1000 and the GT-100. So what we're going to do now is take the expression pedal up on the GT-100, flip my switch on my pickup down to where the guitar can hear it. I think you can hear that, right? Right now, that's on the GT-100 sounds like. We'll go over here. Let's see if that's the GT-100 or not. Oh, that is a GT-1000. I'm going to hit my AB box, and over here is my GT-100. Here we go, we have this one now. So there you have it. We're plugged in. Let's go ahead and turn this down. There we go. We're plugged into all of this stuff at one time using one guitar. Now, the last video I made covers this. I just wanted to show this to you so you could see it in a real world application. Okay, so many of you are familiar with the SY-1000, so I'm not going to take a whole lot of time explaining this, but I am going to cover the back and a couple of different things, okay? And it does have a superpower. So the GR55 superpower is the fact that it has a built-in song player that plays all kinds of backing tracks. That's kind of cool. The GM800 superpower is that it can be a MIDI controller, and you can use it in recording applications. And the synth part sounds better than the Roland GR55. This superpower is that it has a guitar input, and you can plug anything in there. You can plug a bass guitar in, you can plug an acoustic guitar in. It's got bass effects, it's got bass amps too. Also, the amp models are better than what's in the GR55, and the guitar models are better than what's in the GR55. In the GT-1000, there are somewhere around 23, 25 amps. I forgot the exact number. Here, there's 31 amplifiers, okay? And some of the amps that are in the GT-1000 are not in here, but some of the amps that are in here are not on the GT-1000. Also, this has 4 different reverb units that you could stack, where the GT-1000 only has 1 reverb unit. So there's a lot of hidden features in here. You can have 3 guitar models going at once if you want. But we're going to go ahead and plug into this. I'm going to show you how it's set up now. So we have our controller, our expression pedal basically. It's going into control 3 and 4, expression 1. And then our FS7 switch is going to be plugged in right here. As far as the outputs go, we have left and right, and we're going to go into the main outputs. So here's main out left, and here's main out right. And then we're going to take a guitar cord, and we're going to go into the input, and we're just going to plug some guitars in here. I'm going to show you what it can do just for a regular guitar. So even if you don't have a pickup and just want to plug a regular guitar into it, you can see what it does. I had the acoustic guitar plugged into it at the beginning of the video, but I have bass patches and acoustic guitar patches too that I've made. Now we're going to set this down, and we're going to go ahead and turn this on. Okay, so I have my expression pedal plugged in, which I use to control the volume. It's also a wah pedal. Certain patches, it becomes a wah. And then on this FS7 switch, I have every patch programmed to work the same. The B is going to bring up the tuner, and then the A is going to switch it into manual mode. Manual mode is going to give me 6 control functions. And then I can switch off of manual mode by hitting A, just like that. Okay, so we're in the rain, and we're going to go down, though. We're going to take our patch down. We're going to go down to the first patch I made. The first bank, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are designed for bass guitar. The second bank I made, 1 and 2, is designed for steel string guitar, and 3 and 4 is designed for nylon string guitar. Then the third bank I made, now we're getting into your basic electric guitar. So we're going to go ahead and plug the Schecter Telecaster in, and we'll go meet you over at the computer software, and I'm going to explain what this pedal can do when a normal guitar is just plugged in without any GK pickup. Okay, so here we are plugged into the Behringer X32 mixer. If I play a chord, so you can't hear it right now, you'll be able to hear it in a second, but here is our SY-1000 left and right. Okay, we're going to go ahead and minimize this, and we're going to bring up our Tone Studio for the SY-1000. So here we are in our Tone Studio. Our patch that we have loaded right here is from the preset. We have a preset in the user side. We're on the preset side, EG plus 5th drop sine. Okay, so we can't hear anything here, right? And in fact, if we go to highlight any of these things, all the synths, nothing here is going to work for now. And that's just the way this particular patch is set up. Now we can still play through our normal input using our normal pickups without a GK by clicking over here to where it says normal. This references our normal pickups on our guitar. This is our normal input. And all we have to do is turn that on, and now you'll be able to hear the guitar. Okay, so this is our chord length, a chord sim, or cable sim is what it is basically, and you have different links you can choose from. I'm just going to turn it off for now. You can mess with this later. Then here is our signal path as it goes down. So all of these 4 things are basically blended together here, and it comes out. So you have 3 different instruments you can use at once, but we're going to focus on our normal input here for now. And if we go up here to delay, we want to click on delay, and we're just going to turn this off. We're going to come back to that. Let's go over to reverb. We're going to click on reverb, highlight it. There we go. So we have a plate reverb. Our time is 2.5 milliseconds. We're going to leave it at that. Let's go ahead and play a chord, see how much reverb we have here. Okay, not bad. I want some pre-delay though. So we're going to add maybe just 30 milliseconds of pre-delay, just a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and turn down our density here. Man, don't you wish you could turn down people's density? Okay, there we go. So now we have an effects level here. We're going to just turn that up to 40 just to make the reverb a little bit louder here. Okay, so we have our low cut and our high cut. And our high cut basically is set to 4K. And so anything above 4K, there's no reverb on. And I would like to go ahead and boost this up because I would like some of the higher frequencies. You don't have to tap it out all the way up, but some of the higher frequencies I'd like to have a little bit more reverb. Maybe 12.5K. There we go. And we can just kind of cancel out from the 12.5 up to 20K. Just cancel that, just leave that canceled out. And so now, so far so good, right? And we'll go back to our delay here. And we can see here's our master delay. We're going to turn it on. And let's see, our effects level is what? So yeah, 50. We're going to go ahead and take that down. We're going to go down pretty low too. We're going to go down to say maybe, let's try 10. There we go. So now, okay, we want the main lead line to be longer and the delay part to be less in volume so the delay doesn't drown out what our solo is. Okay, pretty good so far, right? We have over here, we have a chorus. We can drag this in front of our amplifier. We'll talk about the amp in a minute. We just highlight the chorus and here we go. Here's our chorus effect. We can turn it on like so, and here we go. Now we can change all of this stuff and then we can save it. Here's our preset section over here where it says variation. That's actually where our preset is for the chorus. So if we want to save this, we just go over to variation and write the variation. If we want to load a preset, we'll go select, and then all of these numbers come up and our light is already highlighted. We're going to go ahead and load that. And let's see if it sounds any different. Yeah, it's not as pronounced. Okay, very good. So now let's go to our amps. Here's all the amps that we have. And we have Natural Boutique. There's a bunch of them down here. Let's go all the way to the bottom. Starting from Marg, GK bass, AC bass, all the way up to concert. These are all bass amps down here. You can choose different bass amps for your guitar. Get up to concert, this is basically nylon string type thing. Then you have like your metal amps and your clean amps. Then you get 2 amps on the top, natural and transparent. You want to use these 2 amps for your acoustic guitar, just pick one. And then let's see, let's go down and choose an amp that's a little bit more. Let's do X high gain, a little bit more than a crunch. So it should be like a little bit more than a crunch. Let's go ahead and turn the chorus off while we're doing this. Okay, and we're going to switch to our treble pickups. So now let's see what that sounds like. A little bit better there. And let's go ahead and add some distortion now. So here's our distortion. Here is all the distortion pedals that come in the SY-1000. Okay, so let's see. We're going to go ahead and turn this on. We're going to get a lot of distortion here when we do. Maybe some noise. Not too bad on the noise. It's a little bit too much. All we want to do is add a little bit more edge in what the amp is providing. So we're going to go down to our blues overdrive here. A little bit less, and we're going to take our drive down to, let's see, probably 25. There we go. There we go. So it's starting to get a decent tone here. Let's go back to the amp here, and let's see what we're set here. Let's go ahead and take a little bit more out of the mid-range. Boost the bass just a little bit, and boost the treble up a little bit more. So it's maybe about 10 in the presence. And let's see what that does. So let's go ahead and turn on our EQ, which is right up in here. And we're going to go ahead and turn that on. And it looks like it's, for the most part, pretty flat. Let's bring this down to about there. See, boost that up. What does that do? Let's leave that right about there. And there we go. We have a patch that's set up. We're in here in the normal, right? And I'm going to go. Okay, got a basic distortion tone going on here, right? So we're going to go ahead up here to normal, and we're going to go ahead and turn this off. And see that nothing up here is going to work, because in order for all of this stuff to work, you need the GK pickup. And there's a lot of things in here. So the dynamic synth, you can get this to work with just normal input, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But you have the OSC synth, the GR300, and the poly effects. You need the GK pickup, but also the electric guitar models. For guitar, we have all of these guitars. We have classic Strat, modern Strat, Telecaster, Les Paul. So there's a lot to choose from down here. And then you can also choose the amp you want to go with that. And you have the same amp selection here. Then you can choose what kind of cabinet you want, and then what kind of mic you want to use, and how you want that mic placed. So there's a lot of variables here. And also, you have built-in acoustic guitars. And the acoustic guitars, basically, you have a Martin here, and you have, you know, some Gibsons, you have a Guild, you have nylon string, you know, you have a sitar and a banjo, but you need the GK pickup for any of these things to work. And then also you have an electric bass, and there's 3 basses. You have a jazz bass, a precision bass, and a fretless bass. And again, you have amps that you can use, and if you want to, if you're using a bass, just select one of the bass amps, and you can select the bass amp you want and the cabinet that you want to go with it. So there's a lot that you lose if you don't use a GK pickup, but you can use a dynamic synth. And the way to do that is you need a patch that says NOR. Any patch that starts with NOR is going to unlock a dynamic synth. So if we go down here, you'll see NOR. NOR stands for normal, or short for normal. So this is our normal pickups in saw lead. So you can see up here we have a dynamic synth that's grayed out. We can't select anything else, but now we can use our normal input for this synthesizer. So if I play something on the synth, you can see it's the synth sound coming through here. And there's a couple different synth sounds that we can go through. I'm not going to go through a lot of these, but now you can combine. Here's our normal guitar tone. We'll go over here and turn this off. And you can see here's our normal guitar tone. Right? Then we can combine that with our synth tone right up here. Okay, one more thing to explain, and that is the effects block. You have 3 different effects blocks here. You can take these down and stick them in front, just like that. And what you can do with these is when you highlight that, we're going to go ahead and turn it on, and you can select a lot of different effects. Right now, just like the chorus unit up here, okay, we have 4 different choruses. We're down in the effects block. You also have, under choruses, you have 4 different choruses. There you go. So when we click on this and we scroll all the way up, acoustic resonance, this sounds great if you have your acoustic guitar plugged into this thing. You have an auto wah, you have your chorus, classic vibe, compressor, defretter, a defretter if you are plugged in with a bass, a delay, a flanger for the bass. You have a foot volume, you have a graphic EQ, a harmonist, a humanizer. So you can see an octave, you can see all the different things. And then you have a wah pedal. And once you have your main block selected, you can choose your other effect down here. What wah pedal do you want to use with the wah? Okay, and then you can go ahead and select this. If you have your expression pedal plugged in, just go over here to that little button. It brings this up, and down here where your expression pedal is, which is ours is plugged in, then you could go find effects 3 and close. And now our expression pedal is going to work to control this wah. Let's say you want to use a volume pedal and you don't want to use an expression or a wah pedal. So we're just going to go down here and move volume pedal 1 right there. And then we're going to go back to our control. Then we're going to go over here to where we have an expression pedal. And we're going to go up to FV1. There we go, FV1. So now our expression pedal is going to control this whole thing. It's going to lower it in volume. Maybe you want to control the volume in these instruments as well. Well, you're just going to take your pedal and you're going to move it down here. And now you're going to control the volume of everything through this volume pedal right here. And that's more or less how everything works. Okay, so I'm going to show you a collection of patches that I've made for the SY-1000 with just normal instruments. If we go down to bank 1, you already know my bass is on bank 1 all the way across, and then bank 2 has my acoustic all the way across. Bank 3 has clean tones regarding an electric guitar, so like clean amps and that kind of stuff. So we'll start with 3-1, and this is my this is a Fender Twin reverb basically, and so it sounds like a little bit of delay in there. Okay, so on each one of these things, each patch, doesn't matter which it is, so you just go ahead over to A, hit the A button, and you get into the manual mode. Now in this, we have a wah pedal here, so I can go ahead and click on this wah pedal, and I can just go ahead and then instrument all, we blend the synth with this. I'm going to take the wah pedal off. It sounds like this. I have a rotary speaker right here. I have a delay if I want to use a delay. Okay, and I can take the distortion off if I want. I can take the pickups on, and now all I have is the synth. Sort of an organ effect for your guitar. Okay, and let's get out of here and get out of regular There we go. Now we're in our memory mode. Our next patch over is JC-120. And it also has, we get into manual mode here, also has a wah. Okay, and we can do various things with this here. Now if I go ahead and hit this, you're going to see I have the synth going on here. I just want the synth. Okay, I have a wah tube. Let's get out of manual mode. I'm going to go over one more. Here is a natural compression. Getting the manual mode on this. We have a octave divider here. Okay, and let's go back into manual mode. Our last clean tone here is ambient rise, and when you play a note, it kind of fades in here. This patch is really meant for any kind of like ambience you wanna. We'll get into the manual mode here, get under the hood, and we can add an instrument. This is like a string type instrument. Turn off our normal. This is what it sounds like. So what we're going to do is turn on our normal and our distortion. All kinds of things you can do with that. We're going to get off of manual mode, and we're going to go up to our next. Now we're going to get into the distorted guitar tones there. Okay, so we have our modern tone here with a little blues riff actually, and we're going to go into manual mode, and in this one we have our octave deal. And we have a synth here. Inst all is what that is. All the instruments are being turned on. So I'm going to turn off this so you can hear what the instruments sound like. Octave on again. Okay, now get out of manual mode. Our next one over here is Power MDP. This is designed a little bit more under the hood as far as distortion goes. When we get into this, you can see we still have our octave thing that we can use here. Okay, and you have a tap if you want, if the song has a certain tempo. The instrument that we have for this one is this. Let's go ahead and turn off our next one over. Maximum phaser. This is designed so that you can have a little bit of a phaser rotating in the background.
idea. So you can have a phaser slowly rotating in the background. And then you can also turn that off if you want to. You get in the manual mode, just turn the phaser off right here actually. And if you want to make a little bit less distortion, right there, okay. That's more or less the patch. And the next patch over is a Supreme wah, and it's basically high volume distortion there with a wah pedal. So you're gonna have to get in the manual mode to turn the wah on. And here's a wah right here, so you can kind of so that is Supreme wah. We're gonna get out of here. And that's it. So the next patch up, we run into the GK pickups. Now, I'm going to make these patches available. You're going to be able to download those from my Google Drive. So I'm going to upload those in my Google Drive and leave a link in the video description. If you want to download these patches and insert them in the SY-1000, you are welcome to them. I hope you can find a use for them. Okay, so this is how you would insert them in the SY-1000.
Okay, so if you want the patches that I've made, I'm going to share them with you. I'm just going to leave a link in the video description, and you can go to the Google Drive and download them. And they're arranged in something called a live set. And let me show you how that works. So we're going to go down here to the Boss SY-1000 Tone Studio here, and we're going to go over to where it says Librarian. And just download those on your Google Drive and put them somewhere where you can get them easy. And what we're looking for is the live sets. Okay, you can create your own live set, as you can see. Give it any name you want. My patches, right? And there you have your live set. And then if you want to export, you just over here. This is going to export. You just select the live set you want to export, and you're good to go. We're going to cancel that, and we're going to go ahead and delete this. Well, what we're going to do, though, is import the live sets I've made. So we're going to go over here to the arrow here, and we're going to go over to File, and then we're going to scroll down to where you've downloaded them. And let's see, the first one is going to be Guitar Models. I'm going to open that up, and these are all the patches that contain guitar models that are built into the SY-1000. You're going to need a GK3 pickup for these. But everything that I've demonstrated is in here. And then the next set, let's go over to File again, scroll down, and we're going to do normal pickups. Okay, so these are all the patches that I've made that you're just plugging an instrument in without a GK pickup. So you have 4 bass patches. Here's your acoustic, and here's all the amps. Go over here again, and we're going to go to File. And we're going to go down to Guitar Synth 01, and we're going to open that. These are the patches that are made just as a guitar synth, just using it as a guitar synth. And some of these are factory that I've adjusted a little bit. Some of them are changed a lot. And then over here, we're going to import one more, and it's going to be our Guitar Synth 2, and open that up. There. And you can arrange these in any order you want. And if you want to start off with the normal pickups, just click and move it over. And we're going to put our guitar models next, then our Guitar Synth 1 next, then we have Guitar Synth 2. So you just drag any one of these over to, go over to user preset, select any user number you want. Let's see, go all the way down here. I don't want to erase anything. Okay, let's select 42 friends. Okay, so we're on user 42-1. So you can take any one of these. Let's take, for example, what shall we use? Why don't we do the Modern LD? Just click on that, just drag it over, and there we go. Hit OK. Go back to Editor, and there's our Modern LD. And just go ahead and write it, and that's it. You have the patch.
Okay, so I've made some custom patches for the SY-1000 regarding the GK3 pickup, and I've also altered some factory presets. So here's my collection of presets that I've either made or altered, and I'm going to, of course, going to share them with you as well. But this is Dadgad, and what it is an acoustic 12 string, okay, and it sounds something like this. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, I can change the bank by the banks, obviously, and I can select a patch number. What I've done, I'll go back to bank 5 here, is I've designed the buttons on the pickup itself so that when I press one of the buttons, instead of changing banks, it's just going to change to the next patch over. So I just hit the button on my guitar and go to the next one over. This is play the chord. It's got 2 little features in it. So if you just play the chord, it sounds like this. A little bit of tingle in there, right? So here's our G chord. So the whole hidden feature in here is Control 2. So we play this. Go down a whole octave. Then we have this in Control 1. Add that little wind sound. Okay, next patch over is a nylon string guitar, just rich nylon. Next patch over is a nylon string guitar, same thing, but it's got a little bell effect to it. Okay, next patch over is that In the Rain patch that you've heard so many times, you know. Okay, next patch over from there is a shimmer patch. Okay. Next patch over from that is a warm acoustic guitar. Okay, so we're going to go under the hood on this one. It's going to go over to our FS7 foot switch, and we're going to hit A, and that's going to take us into manual mode. Every patch you can go into manual mode using the foot switch. That's how they're set up. So you can see in here we have our basic acoustic, right? If I want to make this a 12 string, all I just do is hit that, and now it's a 12 string. I can add some delay to it too if I want to. Have a tap tempo right here so I can tap out the tempo of the song I'm going to play. Okay, so we have the our acoustic resonance right here. Let's see the difference here. Of course, our EQ. I EQ'd it for a steel string. Okay, so let's get out of the manual mode. Next patch over is another nylon, but it's got lots of reverb in it. And a little bit of delay too. You can shut all this stuff off in manual mode if you want to. Okay. jazz. I got a jazz combo here, and this one's a cool patch. So we have a jazz guitar. The cool thing about this patch is that we've set it up so this is how you can change the pickups on your jazz guitar. So it's obviously a model from the SY-1000, but if I'm playing a chord here, I can change the pickup if I want to. So I'm going through the pickups on the jazz guitar by that. In fact, if you look underneath the hood, we're over here in the manual mode. And you can see here's with instrument up and instrument down. I can add a chorus to it too. I'm playing through a jazz chorus amp, by the way. Have a jazz solo if I need to go a little bit louder for a solo, you know, if I'm doing. Okay, not really a jazz solo, but you get the idea. Okay, so, and also I can turn on delay. Most jazz people don't use delay, but it's there if you want it. And you can turn off the reverb if you want. Some jazz people don't like the reverb, or you can turn the reverb back on if you want. Okay, so that's it for the jazz patch. Now if we go over one more, go to manual mode and go over one, and here is a 335 and an L4, so now we have two jazz guitars together. So look under the hood here. So you have two different jazz instruments. Okay, you can turn either one on and off that you want. And then you have your pickup selection for each one. So you can change pickups on the second instrument or the first instrument. So that's kind of how that works. I'm gonna get out of this. Go to our next patch, which is a poly funk guitar. Now this is for funk music. Got a nice little funk tone to it. Now, what is funk music without wah, right? So if we go into manual mode here, you see where our wah pedal is, right? And we're just gonna flip that on, and now we have our wah for our. Okay, so also we have this instrument here that is more or less for funk. We're gonna go ahead and take our wah pedal off so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. So it would be like for a funk. We have a little bit of a. Okay, you get the idea. So get out of manual mode here. I'm going to go over the next one. And this is a baritone. So what we've done is a guitar that is tuned 5 steps down to create a baritone. Add a little bit of tremolo and a little bit of reverb, and you get this. And this is basically a baritone guitar, right? Okay, in the manual mode, show you once underneath the hood here, and we have our reverb here. I'm just going to turn that off for a second. We have a tempo tap for the tremolo, right? And here's our tuning right here on where number 4 is. And all we have to do is now we're in standard tuning again. This is like a little pitch drop, so when we are playing a chord, we can drop and pitch. And we can turn off the tremolo if we want. You see the reverb, 2 different types of reverb here. It's more of a kind of a bathtub slap back reverb. Back to original reverb. There we go. Okay, so that's a baritone guitar. Let's go ahead and get out of manual mode. I'll go to the next one. Sorry, that's a tuner. Next one up. We're in manual mode. Come on. Next one up is our Strat. Okay, so this is just a basic Strat, a little bit of delay in there. Under the hood here, here's your adjustments. You got your delay. Again, you have your pickup up and down, so you can go through the pickup selection on the Strat. You have a chorus and a wah pedal. Next instrument over is a clean telly. It can be a 12-string. So go ahead and get into manual mode. You can see where our 12-string is right here. Okay, we're going to get out of that. Have a chorus and a reverb, that kind of stuff. Next one over is a P90 and a Telecaster. Next one from there is the advanced GK Clean. Okay, next one from that is our Les Paul. This is our first distorted tone. Bank 9 begins at distorted tone. Okay, and the next one from there is our Big Ballad. And this one actually uses some of the electric guitar pickups that are in the guitar. Okay, our next one up is advanced OD. I'm playing slow so that you can kind of understand and hear it. Here's brutal tone. It's kind of a... There's your little metal tone. You can go into manual mode and switch off the delay if you need to. And here's drop D. We're in bank 10 drop D. This is our, should be, oh, this is 2. Let's go back 1. There we go. And here's our acoustic 12-string drop D. I've already showed you this. We can also do D minor since we're in drop D. So you can figure out, I'm just kind of making this up. I don't really know what I'm going to play. I'm just kind of ad-libbing here, so bear with me on that. Okay, we're going to go to the next one up, and this is another drop D, and I put these two together for a reason. So I can be in a drop D in an acoustic guitar, and with a switch of a button, you know, I can be doing, I could switch, go. Okay, so let's go under the hood on this. This is one of my favorite patches. I like this. If I don't want to be in drop D tuning, so I'm playing in drop D, right? If I want to, I can get out of the tuning just by hitting that. So now I'm in the basic. So I'm in my basic tuning here, and I can use this for a solo if I want to. If I want to get back into the tuning. Okay. Also, instrument 3 is kind of cool. It adds a bass with a drop D, and the bass is run through a distortion box, so it sounds like this. Okay. If I want to, though, I can take that off and I can use the octave pedal instead, right? Or I can use both of them together. Right. Okay, so that's kind of how all that works out. Great little, and I'm back in my, I can combine that, let's get out of manual mode here. I can combine that with my acoustic 12-string drop D. So I can write songs in drop D with an acoustic guitar. It could be a 12-string, or I can make it a regular acoustic guitar, and I can bring in the distorted drop Ds and just kind of move it around. Really cool effect. It's great to mess around with. So Bluesy 335, this is a patch that I've altered a lot. I've really spent some time in messing with this thing. So this is kind of a cool little bluesy, a little bit of distortion. Let's go to manual mode so you can see here. Okay, so here's all of our stuff, and this is just the basic. Okay, so add a little bit of distortion. Alright, if I want to, I can add a little wah pedal here, take the distortion off. Okay, I got delay too, if I want some delay. Okay, so let's go back into manual mode. And my next patch is fretless. And this is a really cool patch. We're going to go ahead and go into, it took me a while to figure this one out. So basically emulating a fretless guitar. There's a fretless guitar in here, but how could I make it more fretless? So I got a wah pedal here, and the wah is set to reso wah using your compressor. I'm using a distortion, but the distortion is set very minimal. It's just to create a little bit of like the buzzy that you get on the fret. With the combination of the distortion and the reso wah and the defretter effect that's in one of the effects blocks, you can get a really cool sounding fretless bass or fretless guitar, however you want to set it up. I don't have a bass set up in this, but it's kind of cool how it works. So this is a reso wah, and there's a sweet spot in here, and you can really get your fretless tone. You're getting that sweet spot of the reso wah, and you just kind of find where that is, and you can really bring out that little fretless type of sound that you might be looking for. Okay, so all of these are included in the patches that you can download. Then we get into the synths, and this is dynamic Q, obviously. I like this one. Let's see. So this one is more or less like this. Kind of have to let this one ring out. Another one I have here is Discovery. Now Discovery, you know, because if it's got a drop D in it, so if you play the first part of a D chord from, and just don't play the sixth or the first string, but from the sixth on to the second, you get this. We can do up here an octave higher too, I guess. Okay, so let's go into manual mode, and this is how we can adjust this. First of all, if you want to get out of the open tuning thing, you can do that, and you just kind of, there. Now you can play, let's see, now we can play, let's do an A here. Now, if you want to, you can turn off the sequencer and just have the sound. Okay, so that is, let's get out of manual mode here. That is Discovery. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but a lot of these you probably are familiar with. I just made little subtle adjustments, kind of like that. For the most part, they're almost the same as the factory has designed them. I've just made a few subtle changes and incorporated the expression pedal and the FS7 foot switch. So that way I can, no matter what patch it is, I can access the tuner and I can make the preset numbers control functions.
Okay, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully by now you can see why the SY-1000 is probably one of my favorite synths, and it's a great companion to the GM800. If you no longer have your GR55 and you're missing all the guitar modeling and the amp modeling, then the SY-1000 goes good with that. And SY-1000 and GM800 are made to be paired together. They're similar in design as far as function. Great synthesizer, probably the best one I think that Boss has put out of all of them. And if you want the patches, go to the Google Drive. The link is in the description. Go get the patches. Hopefully you can get some use on them. And we only have a few more of these videos left. If you like and subscribe, that encourages me to make more of these videos. It gets the YouTube algorithm going so that more people can see this information. And after this, we have another series coming along, which is going to be a surprise. I'm not going to really tell you what it is right now. But we have a couple more guitar synth videos to do in our series, about 8 total, and then we'll be done. But thank you for watching. I'm Marcus Curtis. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.